This modeling report shows how a 132 scale Vampire trainer model was made. Of the famous de Havilland Vampire jet, two-seated Vampire versions were also developed and manufactured. It started with night fighters with a big radar nose. There was also a need for a jet trainer, so the Vampire trainer was developed. It was different than the twin-seated night fighter with smaller twin-nose section with side-by-side seating, and the cockpit was rather cramped. Initially, the T-11 did not have ejection seats, but later models got ejection seats. The wing was similar as to the Vampire FB Mark V, and it had the same overall wingspan. I would like to have a 132 scale Vampire trainer T-11. But in 132 scale there is no Vampire two-seater trainer kit. So a conversion was started by combining a 132C Venom kit from Matchbox, also released by Revell, and the Infinity Model single-seat Vampire kit. Cross-kitting both kits could give the main parts needed for a twin-seated Vampire. It would need some sections of the two-seater fuselage from the C Venom kit, but with a changed nose with no radar. The wing from the single-seat Infinity Vampire kit with clipped wingtips can be used, but the tail booms and fins need to be changed significantly. Obviously smaller details need changes as well, like in the cockpit with different seats. Some scaled-up drawings to 132 scale were used in various books. Also as reference, the 172 scale Airfix T-11 Vampire trainer kit was analyzed and fuselage cross-sections were checked. It was concluded that the first 25 mm, about 1 inch, nose section of the Matchbox C Venom is quite similar to the Vampire trainer nose shape. The rear sections of the wider nose are also used, but a slice needs to be removed and the lot needs to be puttied and sanded smooth. The Vampire trainer tails are quite different though as compared to the standard Vampire. The Vampire trainer also has stabilizer extensions and an additional curved fin area for better side slip control. All can be made with plastic card and putty and sanding. A razor saw and tiger saw were used to remove nose sections from the Matchbox C Venom mid-fuselage halves. The needed 132 scale Vampire trainer wing from the Infinity kit is used and is accurate as discussed on my website aircraftinplastic.com. Note that the T-11 had the same clipped wing as the Vampire FB Mark V. The rear trainer fuselage comes from sections of the Infinity rear fuselage with a jet pipe. Inside the fuselage I only use the forward sections of the airflow duct. The intake vanes will be installed later on after puttying and sanding. The Infinity kit wing halves were joined and clamps were needed. The Vampire trainer model needs a different cockpit interior. Pieces of plastic card were used for the cockpit floor and bulkheads made. The main assemblies were joined and forward fuselage set and aligned. It is not easy but can be done with plastic strip, rods, glue and a lot of putty to close up all gaps. A base gray coat was now applied on the main assemblies to check for any flaws by airbrushing my favorite Revell Aqua 75 Steingrau acrylic paint. Repairs with putty and sanding was done when necessary. The different tail fin layout was made with some of the Infinity Vampire kit parts but with additional vertical tail fillets made. I had enlarged drawings to 132 scale as a pattern. The horizontal stabilizer of Infinity kit can be used. Alignment is crucial and all was done on a thick flat wooden base. The cockpit was now tackled using photos of T-11 cockpits found on the internet including cutaway drawings. The first Vampire trainers had no ejector seats but I made from scrap the later fitted Martin Baker Mark IIIB seats using bits from the C Venom kit. The cockpit interior is black but I airbrushed after masking a slightly lighter mix by adding some white in the black paint to avoid a very dark coal hole. The transparent glass cockpit section from the C Venom kit can fortunately be used. The lower fairing section was set with some putty. Another gray base coat airbrushed and when it looked good, the color scheme is to be tackled. There are many World Air Forces that use the two-seat Vampire trainer for decades. I had made earlier in 132 scale Australian TA-4 Skyhawk trainer, so a nice companion would be an Australian Vampire trainer. A nice looking Vampire T-35 was flown by the RAF Aerobatic Display Team Telstars and these sported a high-speed silver finish with red-orange panels at wing, nose and tail fins. Their jets had variations in scheme. I designed the specific markings with a graphics program looking at the various old photos. The decals were custom printed for personal use by a third party on an Oki laser printer that also could print white. The orange panels were masked and airbrushed with Revell Aqua 30 orange. Masking was done and for the high-speed silver Revell Aqua 90 silver was airbrushed. Then several varnish layers were airbrushed with Johnson Future/Pledge varnish to get better decal adherence, also enhance the gloss high-speed silver effect. The home design decals were applied. Some decals can be used from the Revell C Venom kit. Note that roundels positions on the wing may vary during the operational use of the Australian Vampire. After the decals had been applied, the model was further completed with details like landing gear. Main landing gear parts of the Infinity Vampire kit were used. For the nose gear parts were used from the Matchbox Revell Sea Venom kit, as it has a quite different configuration. The nose shimmy tire parts of the Sea Venom kit and Infinity Vampire kit are thankfully the same size. The big canopy was to be set open at near vertical pose. The seats got Dan Brown straps and buckles and were set in the cockpit, as were a few black painted control sticks made from thick rod. Also a black-yellow striped face curtain pull and firing handle was set, made from yellow stretch sprue was set on each headrest. That completed this very nice conversion to get a 2-seat Vampire trainer and 1/32 scale. More details can be found on my website aircraftinplastic.com.